Welcome in Craft and Design 3.0. For my dear audience. In this video, I will describe some different and much beautiful ideas of backyard design or backyard gardening design or different garden design. So, my dear guys, when we talk about a backyard design, then different question arise in our mind like what is the concept of backyard design or what is different outdoor locations of backyard design or what landscape design and it's important or what is the style of a garden. So my dear guys, a backyard originally is our backyard is known in the United Kingdom as a back garden. A just garden is a yard at the back of a house, common in suburban urban development in the Western world. So it is typically residential garden rooms located at the rear of a property. On the other side of the house from the front yard. While Western gardens are almost universally based on plants garden, which etymologically may imply a shorthand of botanical garden, may use plants sparsely or not at all. Hence, the term yard and garden are, for the context of this article, interchangeable in most cases. So, when we talk about its historical background, suburban in English, when we talk about suburban and gardening culture, back gardens have a special place. In Britain, there are over 10 million back gardens. British planning require minimum distances between the rear faces of adjacent dwellings, and so there is usually space for a back garden of some sort. So in other countries, such as Australia, this does not apply, and preferences for buildings where the large footprint has tended to squeeze out the space at the rear. So, in Australia, until the mid 20th century, the backyard of a property would traditionally contain a full run, dunny vegetables patch, and wood heap. So more recently, these have been replaced by outdoor entertainment such as barbecue and swimming pool and in front any buildings or pathways. So, but since the 1990, the trend in Australian suburban development has been for backyards to disappear at the dwellings now occupy almost all of the building plot. So in higher latitudes, it economical and low land value regions to use open land surrounding the house for vegetable gardening during summer and allows sunlight to enter house window from low horizon angle during winters. So as land value increases, houses are built nearer to each other in order to preserve some of the open land. House owner may choose to allow construction on the side land of their houses, but not build in front of the or behind their house in order to preserve some remnants of open surrounding land. The back area is known as the backyard or back garden. When we talk about a back garden overviews, we say that a back garden arises when the main building divides the surrounding gardens into two. This happens especially in the high density housing of British cities and towns. So, a semi detached house typically of the British suburbs of the 20th century. We'll have front gardens which face the road and provide access. The back gardens in such cases will be more uh, secluded, and access will typically be via the dwelling or by a path around the side. So, front garden is a formal and semi public space and so subject to the constraints of convention and law. However, the back garden is more private and casual and so can be put to more purpose. If the housing is terraced, then no side path is possible and access may be provided by an alley which runs behind the rear of the terrace while buildings opening directly onto a street may not have a front garden. Most will have some space at the back. However small, the exception being back to back houses found in northern industrial towns in England, such as Leeds, but now mostly demolished. A private backyard with a privy was a defining feature of the bylaw traced house, a type of dwelling built to comply with the Public Health Act 1875. So, because of weather constraint, it is usual to use a garden more in the summer than in the winter. Although some usage are traditional, such as for a bonfire or bonfire night and 5 November. So similarly, daytime usage is more common than nighttime. So when we talk about its functionality, it may be used for growing food, playing games, relaxing and sunbathing, raising plants, also different types of plants, and housing pets also, drying clothes, making a compost heap, and we can use it in a different hobbies, locating a greenhouse, conservatory, shed workshop, um, outhouse, or garage if access to a road is possible. So, as a partying and wildlife refuge also, and a safe area for different our children, it can be a much safeable. So, location of an air raid shelter such as Anderson Shelter of World War II. In fact, its functional and recreational use is so varied that it can't be easily categorized. Many of the freedom of the use of back garden come from the restrictions, social or legal, of what are not done in the front. Usually, clothes are not dried and vegetables are not grown, and sunbathing is not carried out in a front garden. So, all these can happen in the privacy of the back garden. Traditionally, people treat a back garden as private to themselves and not those they are neighbors to. The social etiquette of how one can greet and interact one's neighbor may be complex and defined by many informal social rules. So, my dear guys, I think that my these ideas inspired you a lot of inspired you much. If inspired, then subscribe my channel and like my video and share my video with your affectionate love. So thank you very much, guys. Once again, thank you very much.